is America making too many enemies with the Gaza-Israeli war?
When Secretary Blinken was recently here in Israel, we had a candid conversation. I said I deeply appreciated the support the U.S. has given Israel from the beginning of the war. But I also said something else. I said it's inconceivable that in the past few months, the administration has been withholding weapons and ammunition to Israel. Israel, America's closest ally, fighting for its life, fighting against Iran and our other common enemies. Secretary Blinken assured me that the administration is working day and night to remove these bottlenecks. I certainly hope that's the case. It should be the case. Give us the tools and we'll finish the job a lot faster.
Israeli officials say Netanyahu has dissolved the war cabinet after their key partner bolted government. The biggest competition of Netanyahu joined the government and the war cabinet to show unitedness inside of the country and the cabinet and the leadership of the country. But he's now bolted and he's not happy about how Netanyahu is managing and handling the war at the moment in Gaza. But it also seems that so is America, who is holding back on a specific shipment which they're not really talking about, but it seems to be heavy-duty bombs that they're keeping back. But they're still sending fighter jets with bombs and still guns and still small arms. So that's not stopped. But Netanyahu made his voice big about the fact that this shipment is being withheld and is not very happy about it.
We, as you know, are continuing to review one shipment that President Biden has talked about with regard to 2,000-pound bombs because of our concerns about their use in a densely populated area. Like Rafah, that remains under review. But everything else is moving as it normally would move. And again, with the perspective of making sure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself against this multiplicity of challenges.
Now, the Biden administration is facing global pressure to completely halt its military support to Israel due to growing reports of Israel targeting civilian infrastructure and using starvation as a weapon of war. The International Court of Justice has already concluded that there is a plausible risk of genocide in Gaza. Still, the U.S. Congress cleared the way for an $18 billion sale of F-15 fighter jets to Israel just this week.
To get it out of the horse's mouth, here we go. Tel Aviv, Israel. Israel officials said Monday that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved the influential war cabinet that was tasked with steering the war in Gaza. The war cabinet was dissolved following the departure from the government of Benny Gantz, an opposition lawmaker who had joined the coalition in the early days of the war. He had demanded that a small cabinet be formed as a way to sideline far-right lawmakers in Netanyahu's government. Gantz, Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant were its members and made key decisions together throughout the war. Okay, so you can't go back and say that he didn't blow up half of Gaza. He was part of that process. The officials who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the change with the media said that going forward Netanyahu would hold smaller forums with some of his government members for sensitive issues. Gantz, a long-time political rival of Netanyahu's, joined the government as a show of unity after Hamas on October 7th attacked on southern Israel. He left the government earlier this month, citing frustration with Netanyahu's handling of the war. Critics say Netanyahu's wartime decision-making has been influenced by ultra-nationalists in his government who oppose a deal that would bring about a ceasefire in exchange for the release of hostages. They have voiced support for the voluntary migration of Palestine from the Gaza Strip and reoccupying the territory. Netanyahu denies the accusations and says he has the country's best interest at mind.
We have to, all of us, put the interests of these many, many innocent families and people first and foremost, and that means that Israel has to do more, continue to do much more, to protect civilians, to make sure that they get the assistance they need.
I just want to show a short clip on the impact that Israeli lobbyists have on the government. Tucker Carlson had an interview where this was discussed, and I just want to throw that in there quickly. I'm very wary of what I'm going to say now, but I don't know where this war is going to, because you have Iran now testing their missile capabilities, and as I think as a show of strength to Israel and to the rest of the world, to say, okay, well, you come at me, I go back at you. So, and there's already concerns that the Thunderdome, or whatever it's called in Israel, won't be able to wear off any attack that is launched like that. Everybody's been saying that the previous attack that was done was sort of a false show of strength for the people themselves, and the US was notified of this attack, and basically nothing happened. Everything was shot down. I don't think the next time Israel will be that lucky.
Iran has successfully test-launched a new ballistic missile that it says has a range of 2,000 kilometers. The Khaybar missile is said to have improved guidance capabilities in order to outmaneuver anti-missile systems.
The Republic of Belarus was and remains our true ally and a reliable partner. Today we stand together against the collective West, which leads an undeclared war against our countries.